Okay, so you should have your 2.4 day 1 homework out. Okay, that's what you should have gotten from the sub. So before we start, okay, I put the table in here from yesterday. So remember, if we're given our slope and an intercept, you're just going to use your slope-intercept form. Okay, if you're given a slope and a point, we have our two options of using point-slope form or slope-intercept, finding your b and plugging it back in. And then remember, when you're given 2 points, your first step always is to find slope. So either method, you're finding slope first, and we'll go through our options. So if you look, okay, the first one I'm going to do is from your first section, and I'm going to do number 4. Okay, so they want you to write the slope-intercept form when you're given a slope and an intercept. Okay, so if we look back at the chart, we know when we're given a slope and an intercept, we're going to use slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So we know our slope is m. So I know negative 9/4 x. And we know our y-intercept is b, which we know is a 5. Since there's not a negative in front, we know that has to mean plus 5. And that's how you're going to do 1 through 3. So all you're doing is plugging in m and b. Okay, our next one, they give us a point and a slope. So this is where we can either do option 1 using point-slope form or option 2 using slope-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to do both, but remember you only have to choose whichever method you liked better yesterday. So the first one is our point-slope, which is our y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And remember, if it helps, I would go through and label your point, x1, y1, and then put m for slope, so you know exactly what you're plugging in. So I know y minus y1 is 4 equals, my slope is negative 6/5 times x minus my x1 is negative 5. And remember, minus and negative means plus. Okay, and then we're to the step where we are just trying to simplify. So we're going to distribute first. So y minus 4 equals, I have negative 6/5 times x, so negative 6/5 x, and negative 6/5 times 5, which we know, if you could check it on your calculator if you need to, but that will give you negative 6. So now our last step is to just get y by itself. So we want to add 4 to both sides. So we know y equals negative 6/5 x minus 2. So we have it in slope-intercept form, just like they asked in the directions. So that's if you wanted to use point-slope form. Okay, if you wanted to use slope-intercept, remember we have y equals mx plus b. Okay, and we know x and y, so 4 equals, my slope is negative 6/5, x is negative 5. So we know 4 equals, if we multiply these together, we get a positive 6 plus b. So now to get b by itself, focusing on b, we can subtract 6. And b equals negative 2. So now we can take our slope and b, and then we can plug it into slope-intercept form. So y equals negative 6/5 x minus 2, which if you notice, they still gave us the same thing, just like it was yesterday. So either method is fine. Really, I don't think one is shorter than the other. It's just whatever you're more comfortable with is what you're using. So this is for numbers 5 through 10, I believe. Well, it's all the ones that they give you the point and the slope. Okay, if we look at the next one, we're given 2 points. So if you look back at our chart, remember when you're given 2 points, you always find slope first in either method. Okay, we just went over a whole section of how to find slope. So we know m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to go ahead and label x1, y1, x2, y2. So we have m equals -2 minus a -1 means +1 over 0. We have minus a -3, so we know +3. So we get -1/3. So I'm just going to write up here m equals -1/3. And I'm going to cross out one of my points. So I'm only focusing on one point and my slope. Okay, so if you say we wouldn't do slope-intercept form. Okay, I'll do that method first this time. So we have y equals mx plus b. So we know -2 equals, whoops, my slope is -1/3 times x is 0 plus b. Well, we know anything times 0 is 0, so we know b equals -2. So we know y equals -1/3 x minus 2. Now, could we have used the first point? We could have, but what do you notice about this point right here? What do we call that when it's 0 and then the number? That's our y-intercept. So once you find slope, you have your slope and your intercept. So you could have went directly to this step right here. Okay, so say you didn't remember that, you could still go through this. Okay, if you would have done point slope form, we can still do the same thing. Plugging in y plus 2 equals my 0, whoops, not 0. My slope is -1/3 times 0, oh dang it, I did it again, times x minus 0. Okay, so we know y plus 2 equals, I can distribute -1/3 x, subtract my 2, and we still come up with -1/3 x minus 2. But again, if you recognize right away that you have a y-intercept as one of your points, you can get your slope and plug this right in. I think there are 2 other problems on your worksheet like this, so you want to watch for that. Okay, but again, if you don't notice right away, you can still go through. If you would have used the first point, you still would have come up with the same thing, and that's perfectly okay. Okay, so use these examples to help you. Okay, you can always look back at your notes from yesterday, watch the video from yesterday again if you need to, or you can ask someone around you. Try to finish this and turn it in the bin before you leave today. If not, just finish it for homework on Monday. We will be doing some more example problems since I was gone the past 2 days.